everyone, welcome to Disha's official channel. We have for you brought a video series on the occasion of Gandhi Jayanti. In this video, we are going to have a look on various movements led by Mahatma Gandhi. The very first movement led by Gandhiji after returning from South Africa was the Champaran Satyagraha. Let's have a look at it. Mahatma Gandhi's first satyagraha was undertaken in the erstwhile undivided Champaran district in northern Bihar in April 1917 after he learned about the abuses suffered by farmers who were forced into growing indigo by British planters' estate owners. The Champaran tenant informed Gandhi that they were bound by law to plant 3 out of every 20 parts of his land with indigo for his landlord. This system was called Tinkatia. Gandhi was initially unwilling to commit himself to the task, but he was so thoroughly convinced by indigo cultivator Rajkumar Shukla that he decided to investigate the matter. Gandhi's plan was to carry out an extensive inquiry in the district and demand action based on its findings. The local authorities did not find Gandhi's visit welcoming and they unsuccessfully tried to discourage him from undertaking his inquiry. But Gandhi began his work from the house of Babu Gorakh Prasad in Motihari, headquarters of the district. During this time, Gandhi was served with a court summon while he was making a spot visit to a village on an elephant back. Gandhi was charged for violating Section 144 of CRPC, but he refused to leave Champaran. The announcement of his inquiry had already captivated the imagination of the peasant, and his popularity hit the roof as the news of his prosecution got around. On April 18, 1917, when Gandhi appeared in Motihari court, nearly 2,000 local people accompanied him. The magistrate wanted to defer the trial, and as a result, the Motihari trial collapsed. The then Lieutenant Governor of Bihar had ordered the withdrawal of case against Gandhi, and the collector wrote to Gandhi saying he was free to conduct the inquiry. This small step was a giant leap forward in the history of freedom struggle and foreshone the advent of Gandhian era. Gandhi's method of inquiry was based on survey by the volunteers. The respondent who willingly gave statement should sign the paper or give thumb impressions. For those unwilling to participate, the reason must be recorded by the volunteers. The principal volunteers in this survey were mostly lawyers like Babu Rajendra Prasad, Dharnidhar Prasad, Gorakh Prasad, Ramanaswamy Prasad, Sambhu Saran and Anugrah Narayan Sinha. Within a month, nearly 4,000 statements were taken. In the meantime, the Bihar administration was worried at Gandhi's prolonged stay in Champaran. Thus, on June 4, 1917, Sir Edward Gate, the then Lieutenant Governor of Bihar, declared the formation of a formal inquiry committee with Gandhi aboard. But Gate had to accept that Gandhi and volunteers could remain in the district and Gandhi would not stop being an advocate of the riots. On July 11, 1917, the Champaran Inquiry Committee began its first meeting, and after several sitting and spot visits, it submitted its final report on October 4. The government accepted almost all its recommendations to the benefit of the riots. The main recommendation accepted was the complete abolition of the Tinkatia system. On November 29, the Champaran Agrarian Bill was submitted in Bihar Legislative Council. On March 4, 1919, with the formal signature of Governor General, this bill turned into a law. Almost a year after Gandhi's arrival, the exploitative Tinkatia system was abolished. The victory at Champaran established Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi in India's struggle against the British Raj. The second movement or Satyagraha which we are going to discuss is a Kheda Satyagraha. The Kheda peasant struggle is also known as the No Tax Peasant Struggle. The Satyagraha was launched in March 1919 under the leadership of Gandhiji, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Indulal Yajnik, N.M. Joshi, Shankarlal Parekh and several others. It was an experiment similar to that of Champaran made on non-violence. Many intellectuals also participated in this movement. Incidentally, the movement provided an opportunity to the educated public workers to establish contact with the actual life of the peasantry. The educated worker learned to identify themselves with the peasantry and made themselves available for sacrifices. The Kheda peasantry mainly consisted of the Patidar peasant. The Patidars have always been known for their skills in agriculture. The land of Kheda, a part of central Gujarat, is quite fertile for the cultivation of tobacco and cotton crops. Educationally also, the Patel cultivators are well off. The struggle of the peasant was organized for several causes. However, a few important causes are: first, the government reassessed the Kheda land and the cultivated crops. On the basis of land data collected in this way, the revenue was increased. This was unacceptable to the peasants. Second, the peasant had suffered a famine and this had resulted in a large-scale failure of crops. The government, however, did not accept the failure of crop and insisted on the full realization of land tax. The peasantry, on the other hand, made its own inquiries and emphasized persistently that the government was not justified in demanding the full land tax. The Gujarat Sabha, consisting of the peasant, submitted petition and telegram to the highest governing authority of the province requesting for the suspension of the revenue assessment for the year 1919. But the officials maintained the rejected and popular demand for non-payment of tax. When the government refused to consider the demand of the Kheda peasant for non-payment of land tax, Gandhiji encouraged the peasant to follow Satyagraha. In some cases, the government revoked the opium crop by alleging that it was without permission. This was considered to be a mischievous technique adopted by the government. The Patidar peasant and the intelligentsia developed its faith in Satyagraha. The next Satyagraha done by Gandhiji was Khilafat movement, which brought Hindus and Muslims together to fight against colonial rule. Khilafat movement, pan-Islamic force in India that arose in 1919 in an effort to reclaim the Ottoman Caliph as a symbol of unity among the Muslim community in India during the British Raj. The movement was initially strengthened by Gandhi's non-cooperation movement but fell apart after the abolition of the Caliphate in 1924. Fear of Muslim disunity were aroused by the decline of Ottoman Empire, the dominant Islamic power, where Sultan as Caliph was seen by pan-Islamists as the leader of worldwide Muslim community. The Caliphate was endangered first by Italian attack and the Balkan Wars and later by Empire's defeat in World War I. Fear of the loss of Caliphate were intensified by the Treaty of Sevres, which tore apart the empire, not only detaching all non-Turkish region from the empire but also giving parts of the Turkish homeland to Greece and other non-Muslim powers. A campaign in defense of the Caliphate was launched, led in India by the brothers Shaukat and Muhammad Ali and by Abul Kalam Azad. The leaders joined forces with Mahatma Gandhi's non-cooperation movement for Indian freedom, promising non-violence in return for his support of the Khilafat movement. In 1920, the latter movement was soiled by the Hijrat from India to Afghanistan of about 18,000 Muslim peasants who felt that India was a renounced land. It was also damaged by Muslim Malabar rebellion in South India in 1921, the excess of which deeply stirred Hindu India. Gandhi's suspension of his movement and his arrest in March 1922 weakened the Khilafat movement still further. It was further undermined when Mustafa Kemal Ataturk drove the Greek from Western Asia Minor in 1922 and deposed the Turkish Sultan Mehmed VI in the same year. The movement finally collapsed when Ataturk abolished the Caliphate altogether in 1924. The next major satyagraha was Salt March, which brought large number of people in favor of Gandhiji, as salt was an vital item in all households. Salt March, also called Dandi March or Salt Satyagraha, major non-violent protest action in India led by Mohandas Gandhi in March-April 1930. The march was the first act in an even larger campaign of civil disobedience. Gandhi waged against British rule in India that extended into early 1931 and garnered Gandhi widespread support among the Indian population and considerable worldwide attention. Salt production and distribution in India had long been a money-spinning monopoly of the British. Through a series of laws, the Indian populace was prohibited from producing or selling salt independently, and instead Indians were required to buy expensive, heavily taxed salt that often was imported. This affected the great majority of Indians who were poor and could not afford to buy it. Indian protest against the salt tax began in the 19th century and remained a major contentious issue throughout the period of British rule of the subcontinent. In early 1930, Gandhi decided to mount a highly visible demonstration against the increasingly repressive salt tax by marching through what is now the western Indian state of Gujarat from his ashram at Sabarmati near Ahmedabad to the town of Dandi near Surat on the Arabian Sea coast. He set out on foot on March 12, accompanied by several dozen followers. After each day's march, the group stopped in different villages along the route where increasingly larger crowds would gather to hear Gandhi's rail against the unfairness of the tax on poor people. 100 more would join the core group of followers as they made their way to the sea until on April 5 the followers reached Dandi after a journey of some 240 miles, 385 kilometers. On the morning of April 6, Gandhi and his followers picked up a handful of salt along the shore, thus technically producing salt and breaking the law. No arrests were made that day, and Gandhi continued his satyagraha against the salt tax for the next 2 months, encouraging other Indians to break the salt law by committing act of civil disobedience. Thousands were arrested, imprisoned, including Jawaharlal Nehru in April and Gandhi himself in early May, after he informed the Lord Irwin of his intention to march on the nearby Dharasna salt works. News of Gandhi's detention spurred tens of thousands of more to join the satyagraha. The march on the salt work went ahead as planned on May 21, led by the poet Sarojini Naidu, and many of some 2,500 peaceful marchers were attacked and beaten by police. By the end of the year, some 60,000 people were in jail. Gandhi was released from custody in January 1931 and began negotiation with Lord Irwin aimed at ending the Satyagraha campaign. A truce subsequently was declared, which was formalized in the Gandhi-Irwin Pact that was signed on March 5. The calming of tension paved the way for Gandhi, representing the Indian National Congress, to attend the second session September-December 1931 of the Round Table Conference in London. After all these movements, Gandhiji launched Quit India movement, which made Britishers surrender and leave the country. The Quit India movement, also known as India August Movement or Bharat Chodo Andolan, was launched at the Bombay session of All India Congress Committee by Mahatma Gandhi on August 8, 1942. The protest was initiated to demand an end to the British rule in India. Since the movement was held in August, it is also known as August Kranti or August Movement. The movement was started on August 9, 1942, and since then the day is celebrated as August Kranti Day. The day is celebrated by paying tribute to freedom fighters with national integration speeches and other events. Now coming to the Quit India movement. Mumbai's Gowalia Tank Maidan, also known as August Kranti Maidan, is the place where Mahatma Gandhi delivered his speech, marking the beginning of Quit India movement. Mahatma, along with other leaders, gathered here on August 8 and 9, 1942. The Maidan also houses a monument as a tribute to the historical event. In his speech at Mumbai Gowalia Tank, Gandhi called the nation to do or die in his speech. Within an hour of this speech, almost the entire INC was imprisoned without trial. Several national leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Abdul Kalam Azad, Jawaharlal Nehru and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel were arrested. The Congress was declared an unlawful association, leaders were arrested and its offices all over the country were raided and their funds were frozen. The first half of the movements were peaceful with the demonstration and procession. The peaceful protest was carried till Mahatma Gandhi's release. The second half of the movement was violent with raids and setting fire at post offices, government buildings and railway stations. Lord Linlithgow adopted the policy of violence. The Viceroy Council of Muslim Communist Party and Americans supported Britishers. After the arrest of major leaders, young Aruna Asaf Ali presided over the AICC session.